One of the most important things I think we're going to start with today is actually how to increase your personal brand in 2020. It's so important, not only to be increasing your personal brand, but also working on your company brand. So you need to be working on both. So what we're going to do is we'll wait a few seconds, let some people come in here and join the live session. Then we're going to get started. So actually over the last few weeks, the reason why I haven't been doing any LinkedIn Live, I was in Florida for a few weeks, just enjoying some nice weather. And then I was traveling. I did a keynote last week in Chicago. And then on Friday, I was in New York speaking at one of our clients' quarterly meetups. So I've been busy with some early 2020 traveling. But now we're going to get back to every week, at least once a week, building out our LinkedIn Live and giving you guys some content. So if you did go away during the holidays, let me know where you went. Put it in the comments section. And also throughout the presentation today, if there's anything else you want to hear me talk about or discuss with you, if it's personal branding, sales, etc., just let me know. Every week we try to come up with new content for you, obviously to help you reach your goals here in 2020. So today's topic is going to be how to increase your personal brand in 2020. A brand is the set of expectations, memories, stories, and relationships that taken together for a consumer's decision to choose one product or another. So it helps you decide from one product or another on how to beat your competition. And branding is very important if you want to beat your competition. Remember, branding is a complex concept, and it's much more than just having a great product. You need, or creating a fancy logo, or even coming up with a catchy tagline. It's much more than that. So all these different tangible things and these different elements I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to answer some of the questions today and give you 10 different questions you should be asking yourself to make sure that you are building on your personal brand. As I said, it's probably the most important thing you can do in 2020. So the first question you need to ask yourself, if your brand were a person, then what? Who would it be? Defining your brand should be the first step in your strategy. Remember, 64% of consumers say that shared values are the main reason why they have a relationship with a particular brand. Now, this can be for business to business. It also can be for business to consumers. Try imagining it as a person in order to establish its purpose, core values, beliefs, and other characteristics that make your personal brand unique. Your brand's DNA, that is, a set of distinctive qualities that your brand possesses, is what will distinguish you and similar brands with the same type of product. Now, nowadays, there's so many different products that do the same thing. There's so many CRMs, there's so many sales tools, there's so many sales engagement tools, marketing tools, etc. How are you going to stand out as a person, but also as a company? So here's what you need to be thinking about when you're defining your brand's DNA. A, your background story. B, your target market. C, your product pricing. And D, your community involvement. So your background story, sharing a story on how your brand came into being. What inspired you to build that brand, and how can that relate to your audience? Your target market. Do you want to target a specific niche market or focus on a general, say, mainstream market? Questions you have to ask yourself. Pricing. Does your brand offer high-end products or services or low-end? How are your competitors pricing their product? The last thing is community involvement. Contributing to the greater good of your community will definitely help your brand awareness. Building a long-lasting relationship with your audience will also improve your bottom line. So 55% of consumers are more willing to spend time on making a purchase from a social, responsible brand. So make sure you do some sort of community involvement. 2, who's your audience? This is another crucial question, as it helps when you create the right visuals, relatable copy, messaging, or brand narrative, as well as pick the communication channels that you want to have your audience find you. So generally speaking, by understanding your audience, their needs, their interests, and more importantly, their pain points, you'll be able to address their concerns offer them solutions, and communicate with them on using the right language in their messaging. One of the most common mistakes, and I see this all the time, is that new brands make it trying to please everyone for fear of alienating prospective customers. This seemingly plays itself out and does not work. It's too generic. So instead of that, focus on a smaller segment and specialize in your offering them and give them the best customer service. So like, for example, I was actually in New York Friday. I was talking to one of our bigger clients. And one thing they mentioned to us was one thing that differentiates AutoClose from our competitors is our customer support and customer service. We are always there. We'll get on the phones. We won't hide behind screens. We'll get on there and help our clients. That is something you need to do now, especially in 2020 where there's so many different products. It's going to come down to building that relationship and that customer branding. You know, one thing I want you to remember is that 80% of your profit comes from 20% of your customers. So try to identify who are those core 20% of those customers and make sure your branding is right to those people. Number 3, what do others say? A brand is no longer what we tell the consumers it is. It's what the consumers tell each other it is. Remember that. 83% of consumers are more inclined to trust peer recommendation over what brands tell them. This means that you need to find out what your audience and competitors say about you and run a detailed background check on your brand. One of the best and most effective ways to building trust with your prospect is leveraging social proof. Ask your existing happy customers to share their success stories. What I did was I just did a presentation, as I mentioned, in New York, and I just emailed the VP of sales for the company, asked them to give me a video testimonial. Why? Because it's great marketing material. How we help their sales reps. And that's the stuff we do to help our personal brand. So similar companies, the ones you currently work with, will continue to work with us. Number 4, consistency is the key. Make sure that your messaging, your tone of voice, your visual identity, and above all, your service and product are very consistent. This also talks about social media. If you're on social and you're posting one Instagram a week, one tweet a week, you're posting on LinkedIn once a week, you're not helping yourself. You're not helping the algorithms. You need to be consistent. You need to be posting. You need to be engaging, okay? So consumers, you know, like when a brand is dependable. They want to know what exactly to expect when they purchase a product. And this predictability is crucial for customer loyalty. So the same goes for the narrative. If you want your prospects to remember and recognize your brand, your messaging has to be aligned with your brand's appearance, as well as your audience's lingo, okay? Very important, once you find out your brand voice, use it across all your communication channels, if that be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And while talking to your prospects directly, every interaction with your customers should have the brand's ABCs, attributes, behaviors, and characteristics, all incorporated into it. Number 5 today would be, don't be a copycat. While it's okay to borrow some of your ideas from successful brands, we all do it. You should be very careful about this when it comes to creating your own brand identity. It's the authenticity and uniqueness that really matters. By trying to steal, the thunder of the big brands, you're only hurting your personal brand and the integrity of your personal brand. So make sure that your brand reflects your unique values to which your audience can easily relate to. Number 6, make a great first impression. So important. Your first impression, look good, feel good. I was watching a podcast and they said, look good, feel good. So this is becoming increasingly difficult nowadays with all the brands out there trying to find their place under the sun. Similarly, consumers, have way too many options, which means that you really need to make a killer first impression if you want them to notice your brand. Your website is usually the first contact that your audience has with your brand. So make it count, make it visually appealing, make it easy to access, and make it load quickly. Number 7, the importance of added value. And this isn't just an empty phrase, but a very serious approach to branding. Contrary to popular belief, brands belonging to the low-end market can also add value. The point is always to deliver on your promise to your customers. In order to add value, you need to establish the following. 1, what makes your company, your product, your service stand out among your competitors? 2, what specific benefits do you provide to your audience, and are they better or more important than the benefits provided by your competitors? 3, is your brand providing enough value for the price you are charging? Make sure you answer those 3 questions. Number 8, build brand awareness. Host webinars, join forces with a brand from a complementary industry, create useful ebooks, how-to guides, helpful resources, offer free shipping, create a referral program, give your swag away, get an AutoClose t-shirt. If you want an AutoClose t-shirt, in the comments, let me know you want an AutoClose t-shirt, because we're going to be soon selling the brand and also giving the swag away to some of our supporters. Number 9, create emotional appeal. We just published about 3 months ago our largest sales glossary. So we published a dictionary that has every sales word, every acronym that you need to be successful in sales. And if you want it, just in the notes down, say, can you send me the glossary? We'll send it to you. So just say send, and I'll have my team go on LinkedIn, or I'll come on my LinkedIn later, and I'll make sure, and I'll send you that. But the sales glossary, it defines emotional sales as a sales approach that heavily relies on evoking strong emotions in prospects. It can be done either by generating excitement around a product or service, or by tapping into negative emotions like fear or failure or anger over a poor customer experience. So did you know that 95% of purchasing decisions are irrational? So here's what your brand should be looking at. A sense of well-being. Describe how your brand can make your customers' lives better. A sense of belonging. Customers, even though they want to be unique and special, still want to be part of a group. And lastly, a sense of security. People expect consistently positive customers experience. So number 10, and the final one for today's LinkedIn Live, is the power of thought leadership. People trust experts. And by establishing yourself as a thought leader in your niche, you'll ensure that they trust your brand too. Start by publishing useful blogs which tackle different issues from your industry and offer your opinion on those important things. Lastly, build your professional reputation by sharing your expertise, your experience on social media. I was telling people on Friday that if you have a cold call, it goes great or it goes poorly, put that on LinkedIn. That's what people want to hear, okay? So I hope these 10 questions that you're going to ask yourself this year will help you with your personal brand, because it's been one of the biggest things I've been working on personally, and it's really helped me personally, but also my business, is by really working on your personal brand. If you have any questions about building a personal brand, feel free to write in the comments. I'll even give you my email, Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, not seen, but Shawn, at autoclose.com, and that's autoclose with a K. And ask me anything about how I built my personal brand, how long it took. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions. For anyone who's wondering, it looks like somebody in the comments section just asked, what does AutoClose do? AutoClose is an all-in-one sales engagement platform. So we help sales rep with prospecting by filling the top of the sales funnel with meetings, but also eliminating those tedious tasks that salespeople hate to do. So you can automate your follow-ups. You can also tap into our database of over 30 million B2B prospects in the USA, filter, search, and email them all directly from inside the software. But I hope you guys, gained some knowledge on personal brand today. It was great talking to you. It's great to be back on LinkedIn Live. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to continue with these every week. Let me know what you want to hear from me next week, and I'll be sure to put it on the calendar. But until next week, thank you so much for joining today, and enjoy your week.